Hi everyone, welcome back to CrochetRocks, to a Monday book special, Monday book club. And this is Modern Crochet Shawls and Wraps 35 Stylish Ways to Keep Warm, from Lacy Shawls to Chunky Throws by Laura Strutt. Now, I did have a couple of shawl books and a couple of each that I got at a kind of book fair with the intention of putting them in my shop, and I never did get round to it. So I'm going through them and I'm trying to find a price. This is by Chico Books, but I can't see a price on this one, so I can't tell you. Now, I did do one as a giveaway. Oh, hang on a minute. Look, $14.99, but that was at the time of print for this one. Now, what it is now, I really don't know, but that's how much it was at the time. I think I got it cheaper because I was at a fair. Anyway, Modern Crochet Shawls and Wraps. So let's have a little look. That's the front page. Oh, the picture on the front page. This, I don't know if that is Laura Strutt or just somebody wearing her stuff. Let's get in, shall we? So these are the contents. We've got bright and cheerful, well, bright and beautiful, should I say, warm and rich, neutral and natural. So we've got a few different sections to get through. There's an introduction, which we won't bother reading because it goes on too much. Before you begin, tips and hints, equipment and abbreviations, and skill level, and talking about yarn. So this is the bright and beautiful chapter 1. Okay, so this is Stash Buster Stripes. So I guess this is, well, yeah, a wrap. You can't see if it's pointed or if it's just what I call a wrap as a rectangular, and a shawl as a pointed, but you know, that might not be the actual kind of term. But we have got a few different pages on it, but again, it just shows you it kind of, you know, ruffled up. So unless we can get a picture of it, see what I mean? This one looks like it's pointy, pretty in pink. I'd rather know. I'd rather have a diagram, you know, that will show you. Pansies and fuchsias, so this one's a throw. Do you like that one? It's kind of a hexagon flower, but for my mind, I like this edge. I don't like it when they leave this edge. And I think on a previous one I mentioned this, I like if they did another round, just 1, 2, 3, however many, it would end with this point. I don't like this edge to it. It's just seems unfinished. Each their own, but that's my preference. I don't mind this edge. That looks like a sort of chevron edge. I prefer it like that. Anyway, that's that blanket. This is called Boho Chic. Now, I'm not really keen on these holes. Not really. What do you think of that? I quite like the layers in a way. It's unusual, but the holes I'm not so mad about. That's Boho Chic. And this is called Seashore Stripes. So it does it with a button or a double button at the top, or a little flower pin. And this one is pointed, so we've finally got one that's showing us what it is. So this one is a pointed shawl, but if you secure it, that's quite unusual. I don't know if I like the stripes though, but you could always, you know, it's a pattern. You don't have to put the stripes in, or you could use self-striping. But yeah, that's that one. Just bear with me. Sorry about that. I got cold, so I put my heater on, and now I'm really hot, so I've turned it off. Okay, so this one is called Navajo Sunrise. It seems quite short for a point. For me, a shawl point to me comes down to about here, so it does seem more of a shoulder, or you know, a shawlette rather than a shawl. Or you could actually turn that and use it as a scarf with a nice warm front. So that's that one. And there's another page on that. This one's called Flower Garden, and that looks quite holy, doesn't it? That might just be the top though, that part there. Let's have a look and see. Oh no, it is very holy, isn't it? It's quite pretty. If you look at this one, you can see it more clearly. Let me zoom in a bit. It's quite pretty, but not exactly going to keep you warm, is it? But then again, she has a coat on. So I'm going to unzoom if I can. I just need to make sure that it doesn't pause, because sometimes it does. Okay, so this one's called Paint Box Palette. And although it's lacy, it's not as open as the last one. So that's quite pretty if you're into lacy ones. What's this? This is just another picture of it. I like the yarn. That reminds me of that Robin paint box, not the splash, but the other one. What yarn is this? It's just Arisano hand painted alpaca blend. Not exactly easily accessible. You'd have to substitute that. This is called Emerald Puff. Doesn't look very emerald, it looks more teal, but that might just be the picture. Like it though, it's got a bit of texture to it, quite nice. This is Sparkling Stars. So I nearly made one called Pennies from Heaven that was like this. I give it up in the end because it was a bit scratchy, because it was made out of sparkling yarn, very similar to this. So I kind of gave up on that one. But these are stars interlocked. Maybe that would be nice for a night out if you use the colours to your advantage. Zigzag stripes, in other words, a chevron. So that's the one that we saw at the beginning of this chapter. It's just a chevron blanket. Some of the stripes are wider than others. So that, I don't know what one that is. Or maybe this is starting the chapter 2, warm and rich. Yes, I believe it is. So we've got Golden Glow. That's quite very compact, isn't it? Compact stitch. So nice and warm. This one's called Green Apples, but it's only called that because of the colour. You could make it in purple if you want, and call it what you like. This is called Woodland Colours. That reminds me very much of that crocodile stitch. It is crocodile stitch. That's why it reminds me of it. That possibly could be a bit difficult. It's a technique that is hard to master for some people. This is called Rose Garden, so it's just kind of an open kind of fretwork type grid with some flowers on it. There you go. That's what it looks like. I quite like it though, I have to say. It kind of is a romantic looking shawl. Quite like that. This is called Yo-Yo Throw. And this is a bit like the Pennies from Heaven that I was going to make. In fact, I would say it is identical to my Pennies from Heaven. Only I just gave it up for a bad job in the end. But that is exactly what it looked like. It was a bit annoying to make the joining of. So yeah, I was joining as I go. But it was made out of shiny, really sparkly silver yarn. But it was too scratchy, so I gave it up. But that is exactly what I was doing. So this is Made Peachy. Quite open again. And this is the warm bit. So it is quite airy though, that one. There's the one with the holes, berries and cream. I don't like it. I don't know. This one at least is a different one actually. It's another one with holes. But then this whole thing has got that kind of openness. It's not my thing. Each their own, but no, I'm moving on. It looks all right, but I don't know about the holes. So this is called Roasted Chestnuts, and it's the one on the front cover. Just looks like a granny, doesn't it? It is, really. That's reinventing the wheel, as I like to say. Vintage style, so again, just granny squares. Nothing new about that, really. Grannies. Winter Bouquet. So that's looks like trebles and chains, really. Doesn't look difficult. We've got a bit of a squiggly border. This one's called Misty Morning, and we've got some buttons going on, and we've also got some solid bits and some open work. And there we go. Reminds me of a bed jacket. You know, when you put that around your shoulders when you're reading your book or having a cup of tea or whatever. back in days gone by. Oh, my mum would have had one of those. Anyway, not my thing. This is called Walled Garden. I like that one. But then I think it might be the yarn that I like. It's all kind of moody. Moody yarn. This one, Old Fashioned Rose. It's a bit of a cape, but it's gathered by a pulse. Well, that's just a very flimsy ribbon. I'm not sure about that. I think I might like it without the gathered ribbon. Just using it as a wrap. On the moors, we've got a hood on this one. There it is. That looks quite warm, doesn't it? And they've done it up with this kind of attachment. I won't call it a shawl pin or a toggle button or something. Neutral and natural. So we've got, this one's a big round, and then you can make it by making this into a gigantic collar. Oh no. Oh, I say. This is called Archer's Cowl, and it's really, really, really not my thing. Well, there's going to be people who love that, I guess. Just that I'm really not one of them. Ooh. Moving on, shades of blue. Well, you know, I love blue, but that's only the colour, isn't it? It doesn't necessarily mean... it's hard to see what it looks like when they've tied it up like that. It might look very artistic for the photograph, but, you know, it's not very helpful, is it? Let's see, we don't even have a picture of it. Just this. There's no picture of what it looks like on, or just tied up on a ladder. You know, we don't need artistic pictures. We need how it's going to look. Just saying. Splash of orange. We don't need to call it that, do we? We don't have to use orange. But again, it looks like trebles and chains. Nothing much to write home about. River's Edge. This one's more of a scarf or shoulder warmer. And there it is. Hard to identify any kind of pattern there. Bit squiggly. This is one of those where you make a loop and put it through. Fields of Barley. They're just naming them after colours now. Really. That's what it looks like. But that's what it looks like from the back. This one's called All at Sea. And that just looks like it's made with half trebles or something. Or doubles. I don't know. Double crochet, I think. What have we got? That looks like a skirt to me. It's not. Obviously, that's a collar. But if you fancied, you could just make it into a skirt. Oh, sorry, knocking the camera. Eternally Green. Well, it doesn't have to be, does it? I'm getting a bit cross, but they're just calling it after colours. You know, it just seems silly, but it's a nice colour, though. Sort of a jade. Quite like that. The colour, that is. I'm not sure about the pattern. Here we go. It's kind of like... It reminds me of the Modern Granny, but it isn't it at all. So there we go. Soft Summer Night. This is that one that's on the, you know, the thing that shows you the big collar. So it's made in a round with armholes. And then you can actually do a little doer-upper. Do you like that? I've seen lots of things made like that, though. Night Sky. Again, that's the colour. It's very, very close, so nice and warm. Make a nice blanket, that one. And we've got By the Lake. Big buttons on that one. At least you can see what it looks like hanging, though. That's very warm looking, isn't it? So now we've got the techniques section, which doesn't seem very big. So that tells me that, oh, maybe it is. It's very hard to separate these. There we go. Shows you how to do bits and bobs. Bobs and bits. And what else do we got? Conversion chart to US terms, if you wanted to do it. Suppliers. Oh, well, that's just useless. And index. And that's it then. So that's the book. I like the fact that you've got this part. It's not a dust sheet like books, but it's got this inner flap. So if you wanted to save your place, you could. I like that. It doesn't really sit flat though. but you know, you at least could do it if you wanted to. So that is Modern Crochet Shawls and Wraps by Laura Strutt. Do you like that one? I'm not sure if this was the one that I gave away or if it was a different shawls and wraps, because I do have quite a few of them. And at one point I did go out and buy lots and lots of these little books from a fair, and I did have more than one of some. It was just a big batch. So it was with the intention of uploading them to my shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk. Haven't found it already. There's a link in the bottom and a voucher code valid until the end of December on every order placed. So I was going to upload them, but then I figured they actually weigh a fair bit, which is fine if you're in the UK buying these books. But if you add these to your order, if you're across any ponds, my shipping is weight based, so if you don't have to order masses, you know, and it's cheaper shipping each time so it's better for lots of medium sized to small orders, you know, or usual orders. But the more you put in and the heavier it gets, these books weigh quite a bit, so I kind of haven't done it. So I've just been doing them as reviews. I might upload them for the UK only, we'll have to see, unless they're really flimsy and it won't really impact the shipping too much, then I might. But that's this one anyway. Let me know what you think. What do you like, what don't you like? I've kind of voiced my opinion as I go about the things I really don't like, but there were some that I did, so let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.